Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Patience is a virtue, I told you many times, and that is wait. Wait a little bit, and the truth will come out and is going to destroy the lie. So, maybe some of you remember in many of my videos concerning Poland and Ukraine, I stated, and I still stand behind that the Poles and the Ukrainians are not really too friendly to one another because their common history or direct history hides some genocides in there and a lot of hatred, especially during the Second World War. And a lot of people accuse Poland for wanting to take over two provinces or more oblasts in the West Ukraine, Lviv, and the other one is, let me just get its name. In order to, they help Ukraine right now just in order to get those two territories back. And those territories are Lutsk and Lviv, and I'm gonna, or Lvov, however we wanna pronounce it. And those are right here. And probably the Poles want more than that, probably right here, because at one point Poland had access to the Black Sea, okay? And they think that's what they deserve. They deserve to have access right here. So all this should be probably Polish territory. Anyway, I said many times that the Poles have balls, which is true as well, and they actually want that part of Ukraine, and they will work for it. That's why probably they're arming themselves in case nobody can, once they get over, nobody will kick them out. They will bring how do you call those peacekeeping forces in that area that I showed, and nobody can justify anything because the Americans will agree with them. You'll see. They will protect the population. Once the Russians break through and come towards the west, the Poles will do exactly what the Soviets and Wehrmacht did in the Second World War. They're gonna meet in the middle at Vistula. In this case, probably they're gonna meet somewhere along the Dnipro River or something. Maybe not that far. So anyway, with that being said, I will show you again how much these two nations love one another, and that shows in politics. I would say they kind of hate, but anyway, I'm not going to go maybe that far. There are some elements who really don't like one another, but hey, let me show you this article. This comes obviously from Russia Today, which likes it, and it's from September 10th, 2023. And it's not what Russia Today says. The quotes Russia Today uses in this article coming from the Polish ambassador in Ukraine. And he was interviewed by BBC, all right? Trusted like CNN. So we have here, Polish ambassador blasts Ukraine over memorials to World War II Nazi collaborators. Hint, hint, Antonio Banderas, Stepan Bandera. Okay. Kiev should allow Warsaw to exhume his dead rather than honoring those who killed them. Bartosz Chichocki, I will call him Chichocki, okay, that's it, because I can, has told the BBC. So Bartosz Chichocki, I'm so proud of myself. Good job. So Ukrainian authorities are, and I'm quoting, wrong to erect monuments to war criminals. Poland's ambassador to Ukraine told the BBC on Saturday Kiev's continued veneration of Nazi collaborators like Stefan Bandera, like Antonio Banderas, is a source of quote-unquote real pain in Poland. He said this is a euphemism for hatred. But hey, that's my interpretation. And I'm quoting this Chuchitsky. You say, says towards the Ukrainians, you say that war is no time to deal with the dead. End quote. Ambassador Bartosz Chichocki said in an interview with the BBC's Ukrainian office. And I'm quoting again Chichocki's. But I can answer you, war is also not the time to erect monuments to criminals and name streets after them. End quote. Correct? Correct. And I'm quoting, by the dead, Chichocki was referring to the murders of between 40,000 and 100,000 Poles between 1943 and 1944, in 1 year. In the regions of Western Ukraine, ram pam pam, Western Ukraine by Poland, all right, known as Volhynia and Galicia. The Volyn massacre, remember that one, as the entire ethnic cleansing campaign has become known, was carried out by the UPA, okay, a paramilitary wing of the Nazi-allied Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, ONU. The OUN was led at the time by Stepan Bandera, Antonio Banderas, who today is celebrated by many Ukrainians as a national hero. You know, someone's freedom fighters are someone else's terrorists. Streets in multiple towns and cities have been renamed after Bandera, while the OUN leader has been honored with statues and monuments, including a 7-foot likeness in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv. Holy moly, so they took a shit right here. What does that tell you? Now that is insulting. Hey, Poles with balls. Hey, why don't you show them to the Ukrainians? So these guys put in Lviv and Lvov by you, by Mr. Bandera. Great. I don't know if you watch Animal Planet, but if you look at the hyenas and the lions, the male lions, they go and they mark the territory by urinating, and then the hyena comes behind and scrapes that and urinates on where the lion, and the lion keeps going, urinates again, moves on, the hyena follows him, scrapes that, urinates on top. That's what the Ukrainians did right now with you, my friends. Am I inciting something? No, I'm just stating reality. You won Lvov. You have a minority over there of Poles in Lvov, and Lviv, Lutsk. And these guys erected the monument of Bandera facing Warsaw. Do you like that? I wouldn't like that one bit. But hey, you're a Pole with a ball. Or actually, you're Poles with balls. So, let's see. All right, is that Chichotski explained that Polish authorities are still awaiting permission from Kiev to exhume a mass grave near the Ukrainian city of Ternopil. Should permission be granted, he said that this would go a long way towards, quoting unquoting, building trust between us. Also, there's no trust at this moment. Okay. The ambassador also lashed out at claims that the Polish side is fanning, and I'm quoting, the disagreement between Warsaw and Kiev. And I'm quoting, I very often hear when a monument to Stepan Bandera is opened somewhere on the Poles, and the Poles are indignated about it, they say the Poles are fanning this topic, he remarked. And I'm quoting again, and why does no one ask those who open this monument why they do it? Hyena, lion, that's why they mark the territory. They erase your presence and build theirs. That happened in many other regions, not only over there. That's a common... Let me show you... Now, I'm going to give you an example that I like. I know some people would not like. When the tolerant Christianity took over the Western Roman Empire, what they do with the temples for the gods, for their Roman gods? Desecrated, destroyed, or turn them into churches. That's what you do. Remember that picture, remember that the monument in Rome by the Forum? It's called Trajan's Column, the Trajan's Column. Now, on top of that used to be Trajan, the emperor who conquered Dacia, Romania. Do you know who's over there right now? Saint Augustine or some Christian god. So they replaced that guy, who the column is his column for his 2 wars with the Dacians in 102, 104 or something like this, 104, 106, something like that. My history teacher will punch me in the face anyway. Sorry, but I always, it's 2-6, 2-4 or 4-6 or 2-6. Anyway, I'm sorry, 106. Jesus Christ, I'm losing it. Common Era. and they destroyed that, and they put a saint over there. All right. And so these guys are doing the same thing. They built Bandera over there. They always did like the same thing. Take the example of Transylvania and see how that worked between Romanians and Hungarians. Say no more. All right. The issue of the Volyn massacre was raised earlier this summer by Polish foreign spokesman Łukasz Jasina, who called on Ukrainian President, he's Ukrainian as I am German, to, and I'm calling him, take more responsibility and say sorry for the murders. Ukrainian officials were indignant with Kiev's ambassadors to Warsaw, Vasil Zvarich, declaring that any attempt to impose on the Ukrainian president or Ukraine and tell us what we must do about our common past is unacceptable and unfortunate. Chochowski said that for the time being, Warsaw will keep its disagreements with Kiev separate from the war for the time being, and help Ukraine defend itself. When Ukraine fails, they're gonna help Ukraine by invading from the west, and they will take care of Ukrainians and Poles alike. You can't make shit up. Now, the Poles are nice, but I have to remind you that Poland, the government, put a bill to the Germans of $1.3 trillion for reparations from the Second World War. They want something from everybody. Remember, Poland was not a country, well, disappeared actually. It was made to disappear between about, I think it was 1794 until 1918. So after the First World War, it was put together again. And then after the Second World War, again, certain things were rearranged to Poland, taken from the Germans, given to this. After the First World War, taken from the German, given to the Poles, and so on. And after the Second World War, Stalin took from them and gave it to Ukraine. And all this is a consequence of Stalin, and not only of Stalin. Remember, Stalin was not opposed by the lovers of freedom and democracy. Remember, neither Truman nor Roosevelt opposed him, and Churchill. Churchill knew, but Churchill was bankrupt, so he couldn't say shit. Nobody talks about the sorry-ass consequence of the Second World War for Great Britain. Bankrupt. He destroyed your empire. All right, Churchill, yeah. We'll find in the land, we'll find on those landing strips, we'll find on the beaches, and we'll never surrender. Give me the whiskey, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much for being with me again today. They will get like this, and the Poles will win. Guarantee you that. Why? Because they are the American Trojan horse on the European continent. I'm not talking about Great Britain. Great Britain is an appendix. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.